Hi Stampers, this is Karen Phillip from Stampin' with Z Grandma Karen. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm happy to show you this technique today. I'm calling this one an off-kilter card, and why I'm calling it that is because the way that this part is sort of off-kilter, and when we put it together you'll see why I call it that. Let's get started. For any of my club members, this is how your sample will look. Very similar to the card, well, like the card. And then all of the instructions are on the bottom, and I will post this part of it on the video as well, or below the video. I'm using the stamp set Gathered Together and the leaf, and it does have dies, and I cut it out with this big maple leaf. Let's get started. Oh, before I get started, here's another card that I made. It's called, well, it's the same idea, using the poinsettia set, and I just did it on the opposite side of the ring, but it's the same layout, so it has a lot of possibilities. So what you're going to need is a normal 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock, fold it in half. And then I just took a piece of just cheap white cardstock. You could use regular paper or just any kind of cardstock, but this is a tad, well, no, it's 4 by 5.25. And then the other pieces, and again I'll post all of the dimensions on the bottom. So we have a piece of designer paper. This is the Magic, it's the Halloween paper, but this looks pretty fall to me. A piece of Pretty Peacock, and a piece of 3 by 6 inch. You have to make sure that it's 6 inches, otherwise it won't work on this particular card. And I did emboss it. You can kind of, yeah. I did emboss it with the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. So to get this look, the first thing you're going to do is take your designer paper and put it on the left side of your white paper. And I'm just going to glue that on. That's easy enough, right on the edge. If it's not exact, we'll be doing some trimming later, so that's always helpful. Okay, now the next piece, this is a 2 by 3 inch, I think it's 2. No, it's 1 3/4 by 3. And we're going to put adhesive on it. Not all the way to the top, because we'll be extending over the top. So this piece, since this is 1 3/4, 3/4 inch is the halfway point. So if you want to measure on your grid paper, and this actually works out pretty well because it's 3 squares, so you'll hit the middle, the third square, and then just lay it there, and then the bottom part goes even with the designer paper. So again, 3 squares over and down to the end of the designer paper. On the back, it will look like this. So this piece will be coming up. Then you'll take your 3 by 6 inch piece, decide which side you like better. I'm putting the little bumps down. It doesn't matter again. And we're just going to put some adhesive on it. Now this piece, you can line it up again if you want, so that the designer paper is even with the edge, but you go 3 squares over, putting the bottom of your long piece covering your corner here, and then on the top you want to make sure that none of the white is showing, but if you put it on the, just covering it like that, so that this piece and this piece will be even. and it's just on this angle and push down because you have adhesive on it. So it looks off kilter. That's where I got the name. And on the back, this is what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is trim this off. You can either cut it or use your paper trimmer. The chop kind of paper trimmer works really nice. Now because they're sticky on here, I don't want to do the sticky side up because it'll ruin my blade. So I'm going down, and I know that this piece will be 4 inches. So I'm going to set that on the 4-inch mark. Oops, I moved. And hold it securely because I'm not up on the edge. And then I'll take that off. And now I have a straight edge. Same thing with this side. These are not glued, so I can go against go on the white. And then flip it around. And now this side will be 5 1/4. This is sticky again, so I'm going down. So this is 5 1/4. Oops, 5 1/4. And now you have your square card. I have a little bit of white showing, so I'm going to trim that off. Just a tad, because it will show on the dark edge. So that's how we get our wonky piece. There's something happened on this corner, so I'm just trimming that too. There we go. Everything's all sticky. Okay. So now we can just attach it to the card. And I'll just do that. And then I'll give you a couple hints on how to put the ring on. I don't know, I've not seen anything on the video, so I don't know if it's the right way to do it or not, but that's the way I thought worked. So we're putting this on. Okay. So we're going to take a ring and here's my ring. So what I found works for me is just taking a glue dot and putting it on. There's no seams on these rings either, which is interesting. So it's just a solid piece of gold. I'm sure it's not pure gold. Okay, so we're just going to take one glue dot and just sort of roll it on one side. For this card, I'm putting it on the left side because we're putting everything else, we're putting the decorations over it on the left side. So my glue dot is, I don't know if you can see it, yeah, so it's right there. And we're just going to set this down sort of in the middle, about like that, and just push it down. We're not gluing this other side down, so you can see it's loose on that side. But to make it stay, we're going to put all our embellishments on. And I'm using these 2 little gold pieces from the Sprig stamp set. And I like to use dotted on these. And I'm just putting some adhesive on it. This is dotted adhesive. I find that works better than glue, especially on the metallics, because if you glue it, the glue lines will show. Okay, and then that goes underneath the ring. So I'm putting one there and one here. Okay, then I have the stamped and cut out maple leaf, and then we're going to put glue dots on that. Trying to find my pokey tool here. Okay, so I'm putting glue dots on each of the points of the leaf, nothing in the middle, because your leaf you want the leaf to straddle the ring. And so I just put it on there. I'm going to take off the pieces here. Okay, And then you're just going to set it so that some of these are on one side of the ring and some are on the other. And if one ends up on top of it, that's okay too. So now I'm just setting it down, and you can see it's in there good. And then I will put a twine ribbon on there. And I can show you how to make a bow if you have problems with that. I'm using the Forever Greenery twine. It has this gold twine. So to make the bow, this is how I do it. You can do it the bunny ear method. So that's taking two bows. It's hard to see on camera, but you take two bows and then wrap them around each other and through the hole. And because this stuff is so thin, it's a little more difficult, but it's possible. And then you work it to the size that you want. That's the bunny ear method. Otherwise, what I always do is just take a loop around, well, not around your finger, you just into your finger. So you have a loop like this. Wrap it around front to back and pull it through, pull that piece through the bottom loop and pull. And then you make it the size that you'd like. I'll show you another one. I'll do it again. And then this is just going to go on my card. But I'll show you again. So you take the pieces like this, form a loop, hang on to it with your thumb and finger, take the long side, wrap it from front to back, and this loop right here, you'll be pulling from the back the piece of ribbon or twine, and then just grab it with your other hand and pull it. And then you have a bow. And that works for ribbon or for twine. And I have long nails and I'm able to do this, so it does work. Okay, so then I'm attaching the ribbon, and then I have a little piece of 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 of the Very Vanilla, and we're going to attach the sentiment here, but first I want to put a little banner. So the way I do them is cut in the center, cut up the center, and then you cut each corner, and then you have the perfect banner, and that just gets glued right there. So I hope you have fun with this Kilter card and enjoy it, and feel free to share any of your samples. Thanks for watching and have a great day.